Welcome back to part 2 of recycling clay. What we are going to do today is take the block of clay that we submerged in this bucket, and we are going to see if it's ready to be built with and worked with. So what I'm going to do, you can push on it and check. So throughout the process, you can always just kind of get an idea. If it's still really hard and you think it's been long enough, you can reopen the bag, add some more water, and then close it back up. Make sure that the air is locked and the water is kind of compressing that air out of the bag, and make sure that the bag is closed, and then just wait a little bit longer. Sometimes if it's really dry, it takes a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out and set it onto a towel. That way we don't have a slopping mess. We are going to check the plasticity of this clay, and we are going to see if it is ready to and workable. So this is with minimum supplies, trying to recycle this block. I can tell already how much is kind of swelled up. It is really soft and mushy on the outside. Now that's going to happen because you put water in there, and so the outside is going to be soft and mushy and gross. So we're going to take that wire cutter tool, and we're going to see if when we cut it, oh, that's being fun. We're going to cut it and see if it cuts like cheese or if it cuts like butter or where we're at. So I'm just putting it in, pulling it toward myself, and it cut actually very nicely. So I'm going to take that off to show you. I have a little bit of water running off. I'm going to set it here on the wear board. Okay, so now you can see it is mushy. I can squeeze it with my hand and it's now workable. This was a completely dry piece of, or big chunk of clay. Now I have 25 pounds of usable clay, and it only took about a week's time to get it to this state. Now, what do I do from here? Because I just squeezed it and got all of it all mushy and stuff like that. You need to wedge the heck out of this thing. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to wedge the clay on the surface of whatever we have, a dry board, a canvas, and get some of that moisture pushed inside with the rest of it. Now this situation I'm working with is not ideal. It's in my regular classroom. It's not in my clay studio, and so I am kind of just having a heck of a time on this wear board, but it's the way that it goes. So work out what you can, secure a location where you can wedge this out, and you can tell already I am almost ready. I could almost use this. It's still a little tacky, but as soon as I wedge it a little bit, it will be good to go. Once you take the clay and you work it a good bit, you can start to feel there are some inconsistencies to it because the outside was so mushy and the inside is just getting that water. So now we need to take it and wedge it onto a surface. Okay, so I have a wear board here pushed up against the back of my countertop, and I'm just going to start wedging it on that board, and it is going to come back to a consistency that is workable. Now, if you have a wonderfully nice plaster wear board, this is not going to take long at all. I'm just using a piece of plywood in my regular classroom. I'm not in the clay studio with what I have, and a lot of classroom teachers have to do this. They're not set up with all that clay equipment. I'm gonna wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, so the reason I wash my hands is because if my hands are all tacky and sticky and I'm touching clay that's not tacky and sticky, it's still gonna make it feel that way. So I'm gonna close my bag up because it's good to go. And I'm going to check the plasticity of this clay and see if it would be workable. I'm gonna take it, squeeze it into a hot dog. I'm going to roll it into a coil and I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and you can see that in a week's time I have now gotten my clay into workable nice coils. So good luck.